Hey everybody, it's Christian. Hope everybody's having a good day today. This video really came about from a conversation I had with my supervisor at Emory earlier today that kind of made me realize that although I've been sharing quite a bit with you all, I've really been kind of keeping a lot stuff inside and not really sharing it. So I think it's time for me to delve deep and kind of go into some of the things that I've been thinking about. But one of the things that kind of got me talking with my supervisor today about was being trans as a professional, as a young professional, and also transitioning on the job. So many of you know I work in higher education. I work at a university, currently doing my master's, and I'm looking to go into that field in the future. In this past year, I started testosterone, I started binding my chest, and really appearing much more masculine, and I actually came out as trans on the job. And so there's a lot that comes up for me in that. I think a lot of this is spurred from the current institution that I'm working at, Emory. For some reason, there seems to be more males or more men around, I guess, and I'm seeing a lot more facial hair than I'm typically used to, and that's kind of got me thinking about, I guess, facial hair, and being a man and what that means and raw and all that bullshit that we go through. But it makes me kind of feel like I look like I'm 12, because there ain't nothing much going on here. But that wasn't the main point that I was trying to make from this, but I kind of got talking about how I transition, and I worry that sometimes I can't show up in spaces for my students. So I really want to work with LGBTQ students, but I worry that my own personal transition stuff will get in the way, and I hope that doesn't happen necessarily. I'm a really big educator, so I love people asking me questions about my life and my experience and kind of what's going on. I like talking about that stuff, like, a lot. Well, hence, I have a YouTube channel. Holla! If anybody likes talking, you have a YouTube channel, and you know that's true. And so I'm not so much like I'm gonna walk up to somebody on the street and be like, hey, I'm trans, let's sit down for half an hour and talk about my life. No. And so I kind of keep it on the down low so much, but if people ask me about it, like, I'm pretty out as trans, and I'm with a disability and all my identities, but, if people ask me about it, I'll answer all of their questions. But I had a real struggle this past year with a lot of my transition, and I have students that I supervise that I'm fine answering their questions, but sometimes I worry that if you have a bad day, whether I show up for them or not. This really spurred from this summer. As many of you know, my top dysphoria has gotten pretty bad, and I was kind of talking to my supervisor about that and how I've had more headspace to be in, with myself. And so it was different for me to have these thoughts running through my head, and I really felt that I would show up at the office every day, but luckily there was no students around, because a lot of the time I get sucked into this really focusing on what's going on in my head, which is right for me to do, and you need to be a whole person, to show up every day. So we were talking about that and what it means to kind of, how do you show up authentically with all your identities, because I definitely think people respond to you when they see your whole being. So I want people to know that I'm trans. I want people to know that I have a disability, and I want people to know my story. But that doesn't mean that I can share everything with my students. I can't sit down with them, and if somebody was to, like, come out to me and need resources, I can't sit there and be like, oh my gosh, I struggle with that too. I don't know what to do. I'm so stressed all the time. I can't stop thinking about it. Like, that's not what they don't need somebody else to be in a similar situation with me. They like to find solidarity, don't get me wrong, but they need to know that it'll be okay. And so I guess I worry about that a little bit too, and how hard it is to deal with my own shit that I have going on with my transition and show up in the office every day. It's hard work, and I don't really know how to do it necessarily, and I guess it just goes day by day, and it's finding the support. Like, that's why I go on YouTube, and that's why I talk to my supervisor and feel comfortable sharing some of that, because I need to, and I need to share it and get it out there. And just find the right level for me. My students might find this on YouTube. I honestly don't know. I don't really care if they do or not. This is my space. I'm not saying anything I'm not proud of. I am proud of everything that I am. And I'm just sharing some of my hardships. Some of the stuff that I might not share in my office, and that's totally fine. That's something I've been thinking about, and something that will be an ongoing journey for me as I become a full-time professional in the field. So I guess it'll be challenging and exciting to see where all that goes. Looking to this next year, I am actually have a new staff on staff, so I supervise 16 students, and I'm gonna need to find a way of coming out to them. Partly because I have some returning staff members who already know about my identity, and also because I want to be upfront with my staff. I'm on testosterone. Things are changing. I might pass some one day and not the next. I might have a bad day sometimes. I want folks to know. I want folks to feel like they can come to me and ask me stuff. But I just gotta find a way to come out to them, which I gotta start thinking about, I guess, because I don't want to be like, oh wait, hold on, let's take an hour of training to talk about the fact that I'm trans. Like, no, I don't want that. I want it to be an open discussion. I don't want it to feel like, put me on a pedestal. Trans identity is the most important identity ever, because it's not. So I need it to come organically, staged organically. Kind of through conversations with the staff, and make it so that they can share things about them as well. But I have this feeling that it won't be like that. Because you become the fucking person on a pedestal. So, anyway, I'll have to figure that out. And hopefully grow facial hair in the next year, because it's really pissing me off right now that I can't grow a beard. And I feel like I look like I'm 12. Or at least 18. I probably look like a first year student. And I'm not gonna get any taller. But hey, whatever. We all have shit to deal with, right? If any of you have any thoughts about this topic, let me know. As I say, this is kind of an ongoing thing. I just wanted to put it out there, see people's thoughts. I'm hoping to do more. I suddenly got a bunch of topics that I really want to talk about. So you'll be looking out for that from me. Alright, hope you all have a good evening. Peace.